September 25th, day 4. And you guys, today I'm just feeling thankful. I'm feeling that yesterday I was super tired. I don't know what happened, but I was just tiredness overcame me. I slept in a little bit today, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't feel that like tiredness all day long. And it was a much better day. I needed that extra rest, so it was kind of good. I listened to my body. I listened to what was going on, and instead of just pushing myself, saying, "Hey, gotta be at, you gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this," I was realizing like I'm not functioning well. So I slept in a little bit longer than I normally would, and more normally than I would have, and I felt much better day. And today I just was like, man, I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful. I try to actually be very thankful each and every day. And I try to think about the little things that I'm thankful for that we take for granted all the time. Um, and so and the Bible says, enter his gates with thanksgiving. Just always be thankful. And I know Tony Robbins always said, like, if you can't be thankful, you can't have this gratefulness and fear at the same time. So when you focus on one, it pushes the other one out. And so I always try to remember that. I'm like, okay, what can I be thankful for today? Even, especially in the hard one is like when you're going through the struggle, the hard times, the challenge, the tribulations, the trials of life, the challenges, the problems that you're not ready for. And it's really hard to be thankful in the midst of that. But that has been like my focus for this year, has been like, okay, what is the struggle for me? And then I gotta like be thankful for that because I'm learning something in the struggle. So from the little tiny things to those hard things to great big things. I don't know. I've been thankful. I'm thankful for little tiny stuff. Well, first, I'm super thankful that I live where I live in the time that I live. I know that right now people are screaming from the rooftops of how bad our world is, how bad our society, our culture is. We have, especially here in America, we have two sides just completely battling each other, and it seems for me it's sad, but I try to give thanks that, like, hey, we live in a country where people can have a choice and a freedom to express themselves, whatever that may be. And I'm thankful that we have people who disagree. And I like Vivek Ramaswamy. He was saying in one of his interviews, he's like, it's great that we disagree, so let's talk about it. Like, let's have a conversation, and let me hear why you have that viewpoint, and I'll share my viewpoint. But we can have a discussion about it. And I love that approach to it. Instead of coming up and being like, you're wrong, and you're wrong, and just constantly like accusation. It's just like, okay, hey, wait, whoa, we think differently. So why is it that you hold that position? Okay. And why is it? And this is why I hold my position, and let's discuss it. And anyway, I'm thankful that we live in a country where that's an option. I'm so thankful that we don't have an authority, a government in power that basically says, no, you have no voice. Excuse me, bug. You have no voice, and you cannot say this or you can't say that. And I know sometimes it may feel like that, but we still live in a place where we have great freedom, and I'm so thankful for that. And more specifically, I'm thankful that I live in California. I know a lot of people, some people feel California is great, and some people feel California is awful because of the political system. And I'm not even talking about that, but I have to say that California is probably one of the most beautiful and diverse states. And I live in far northern California, and I just think it's such an amazing area. Like, I'm just so thankful to live up here. And contrary to what people outside of California believe, not every place is crowded and packed like Los Angeles and San Francisco. I live in a place where it's very tiny, and people are scattered, and there's plenty of space. So I'm actually very thankful for that, and for my town that I live in. And then I'm also thankful for fresh air. Like good, healthy, fresh air. And I used to live in Los Angeles, and when I moved up here, I met a guy. He said he lived in Los Angeles as well, but he said that when he was down there was an older gentleman that he had to walk around with an oxygen tank, around and in his nose. And he said, but when he moved up here, the air was so much cleaner up here that he didn't need the tank anymore. And so even though I've never had that issue, I don't have asthma or anything like that, I'm just like thankful that I live in a place that's nice and clean, and so pretty, so beautiful. I'm also thankful for I got clothes. I got clothes to wear. I have roof over my head. I got food on my table. I got a job I get to go to. And again, I always say I get to go to a job, regardless of how I feel about that job. But I think I mentioned yesterday the words are so powerful. How do you say? I'm just curious. How do you say the phrase when you are going to work? Is it like I have to go to work, or I have to go to school, or I have to do this and I have to, or do you say I get to? I made that shift in my language a while ago, and it's been a big shift for me, because I get to go to work is much different than I have to go to work, right? I have the option and the opportunity to do something versus I'm being forced to do this. I think that just small little shift of in words is actually creates a big mind shift here. And I always correct my kids when they use the have to go, and like my students at school, they're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to. I'm like, wow, you get to, because there are other places. We don't realize it when we get into our routine. We've been in some place for so long, we just become so used to it. It becomes our normal that we forget. And this is where I like to try to like stop and realize that people in other countries are very excited, would be so excited to have a job to go to. People in other countries, I mean, my family is immigrants from Italy, from Sicily. And like when they came over, it was like we work. Like we come over and we work, and we have the option to work, and we have so many opportunities to work. Now, I'm not the immigrant. It was my grandfather. My mom came over when she was very young, but it was that immigrant mentality maybe sunk in, where I'm like, no, I get to work and I want to work. And I kind of hold the belief that I was created for work. All right. Now, that work is defined in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be like work that you're paid for, like a job, but I was created for work. So I have the idea and the mentality that I will work until I die, like all the way until my last days, which I hope are very long. I will work until I die. I never want to be sedentary and sitting and not doing anything. Not for more than for a very short periods of time, just for rest, but for other than that, I want to work. And I feel most alive when I work. So I always give thanks that I can work, and whatever that may be. Maybe that is going to my classroom and teaching, or maybe just around the house and doing chores and stuff around the house, or whatever it is. I work, and I'm very excited and happy and thankful to be working. But don't forget like the little things, and this is a big one, that we don't really think about, but like clean running water. I'm just like, oh, I'm so thankful that I don't live in a place or in a time when that wasn't the issue, like flush, like pipes in our houses. Wow, it's amazing. I'm so blessed to have that. I'm so thankful that I don't have to walk outside into a hut and do my business in a hole. Like, I'm thankful for that. I don't know. I hope if you like think about that for a second, and how horrible that would be, and how like spoiled we are that we don't even consider that, right? We don't even consider or back in the old days when we used to carry a bucket out and crank down something to fill a bucket with water. We just turn on faucets or whatever contraptions. We have water delivered to our houses, and it's just so awesome. So I'm always just thankful. I guess I say that because I want to encourage you to be thankful. It is a massive blessing to be thankful for stuff. And pretty soon all like the bad stuff becomes so much smaller, because the bad stuff is really, for me, it's so trivial, and when bad stuff happens and unexpected stuff happens, it's like, I can choose to be very sad and upset about that, or I can say, okay, thanks. I can be thankful for this. What can come out of this? I'm like, and even if it's sometimes I've had like some unexpected bills pop up that I'm like, oh shoot, how am I going to pay for that? I got to figure this out. Well, I can be thankful that I have something to push me. And actually that's sometimes I need that. Sometimes I get sedentary. I'm not pushing, I'm not striving, I'm not going for it. Something happens and I thought, oh shoot, kicks me into high gear. So why not be thankful for it? Just be thankful. It's just not just like a momentary thing, but just a way of living, the way that your mind works. So I encourage you, be thankful. Be thankful for something. You know, another thing is like I'm thankful that we have technology nowadays. It's in a lot of ways it's bad, but in so many ways it's so amazing. And I was just talking to my daughter about posting some videos. I'm like, why don't you know? I'm doing this challenge for a year. I'm like, I told her, she's 17. I'm like, why don't you start posting something? Post something small every day. She said, what? I'm like, just about your life. Just start posting it. And I said, if nothing else, if you do that for a year and no one watches it, so what? You have just made like a 1 year long video diary for your kids. And that's something that like my generation, we don't have that. We didn't have access to phones to make everyone, or to make, you know, daily videos. You know, I mean, I grew up in a time, maybe you can recall, where, you know, it cost us a few bucks to get film. We would take only 24 or 36 pictures, and then we would have to pay $8, and that was back in the day, to develop these pictures, and we didn't even know if they were good, right? And half the time they weren't good. But we didn't have the luxury of being able to take 15,000 pictures and then picking the 10 that we want to keep. So like, you know, be thankful for that, the connectivity that we have. You know, it's like, I know that it's good and bad. So which way are you going to focus on? There's lots of good that comes with the technology, and there's lots of bad. And okay, got to take them in stride, but I tend to focus on the good. So I hope you're focusing on good today. I hope life is treating you good. And if it's not, I hope you can find some good in it, or you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. All right, so guys, have a fantastic day, night. You can see the sun is setting on me right now. So I will catch you tomorrow.